Thank you all very much for being here. Why don't we go ahead and settle in for some meditation? Please take a moment to settle into a comfortable meditation posture. And after you've settled into a comfortable meditation posture, you might take a moment to allow both your physical body and your mind to settle and rest. And then when you're ready, please gently transition into meditation on the inner body. Become the silent observer of sensations within your inner body. A completely valid method of this meditation practice is for you to silently observe sensations that may appear in so-called isolated parts of your body, your hands, your feet, the region of your chest, and so forth. Perhaps an even more valid method of this practice is for you to observe one universal sensation, one sensation that extends from the crown of your head to the tips of your fingers and the soles of your feet and all space in between. Whichever method you choose to practice, please just continue to silently observe, allowing sensations to arise of their own accord. That is to say, don't try to manifest sensations, just allow them to arise as they will as a result of causes and conditions, and simply observe silently, like a mountain with consciousness. A profoundly meaningful realization from this meditation practice is that you have a direct experience of the fact that your body and your mind are not separate. As you know, your mind is not confined to the envelope of your skin. Therefore, because your body and your mind are not separate, that means that your body is also not confined to the envelope of your skin. So very gently now, I'd like you to please give yourself permission to observe sensations, bodily sensations that extend beyond the envelope of your skin, maybe a few inches, maybe a few feet, maybe a few miles beyond the envelope of your skin. Here again, allow these sensations to arise of their own accord. Don't try to will them into existence. Just gently experiment with observing these sensations beyond the envelope of your skin for the last couple of moments of our meditation. Now, very, very gently, please allow your consciousness to become less absorbed as you begin to arise from meditation. We dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation to world peace. May leaders of countries that are at odds with one another soon come to recognize that nothing is accomplished with minds of anger, and instead may they solve their differences using minds of compassion, empathy, patient acceptance, and wisdom. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. and bring your meditation to an end. Welcome back, friends. So I think that's an interesting meditation that we do, this meditation of meditation on the inner body, but the inner body kind of becomes the outer body too. If we think about it, we'll see that, our thinking mind likes to isolate and label things. And then we come to grasp at those phenomena as being isolated and independent and inherent and freestanding. But it doesn't take a tremendous amount of creativity for us to see that, like most phenomena, all phenomena maybe extend beyond the mind-made boundaries that we typically ascribe to those things. United States, for example, I think, except when we're on our best existential behavior or in a Dharma state of mind, we think, oh, the United States is, it's bound by the border, the West Coast border and the East Coast and Canadian and Mexican border and like that. Yeah, there's this entity called Hawaii and Alaska, which kind of go beyond the boundaries, but we're going to include them as part of the United States and the sort of boundaries, right? But then there are other phenomena that kind of extend beyond the boundaries of the geographical boundaries of the United States. There are these things that are called U.S. embassies, right? And those are sort of regarded, I don't pretend to be an expert in international governmental law or anything like that, but it seems like I remember hearing that those embassies are actually regarded as being parts of the extensions of the United States, and the laws and so forth apply there. And so kind of embassies are part of the United States. It's a made-up idea, right? It's just some people got together and said, this is how it's going to be. And, and therefore, these embassies are now part of the US. And other kind of territories like Guam and, Costa Rica, maybe. Those are what, US territories, maybe? I don't know. But they kind of have some sort of US connection that, again, extend beyond what we conventionally refer to as the boundary of the United States. Kind of maybe closer to home, an orange, right? Take an orange, like the piece of fruit, an orange. And we can, if you go close to the orange, you can smell the orange. You can smell the scent of orange that extends beyond the peel, kind of the boundary of the orange. Yeah, so we could say that the orange kind of extends beyond the envelope of its peel. It's kind of funny to talk about it and think about it in these terms. But what the most important, I think the most important example of, or most important demonstration of the fact that things extend beyond the boundaries that we typically ascribe to them is mental. It's our mind, right? You look, well, let's use a little less subtle example. You eat an orange And the orange becomes part of your body, and therefore the orange extends beyond the envelope of its skin. Even more subtle than that is just by looking at the orange, just looking at it, it becomes a part of your mental continuum, right? It becomes a part of your mental continuum and therefore part of you. And therefore, by definition, the orange has extended beyond the peel, which is the envelope of its skin, right? We may kind of be dismissive and say, oh, that's just kind of creative existential thinking. Maybe if you decide that's what it is, then that's your truth, and you can allow it to be that way. For me, I think there's more benefit in regarding things not being so static, not being so finite, including this entity that we call body, right? It's really, initially when I started thinking about it, it was a really radical notion to think of the body, of my body, extending beyond the envelope, the boundary called skin. And as I've gotten more familiar with that idea and that practice and that experience, most importantly, freedom has come. Freedom, good results have come. So anyways, I spent almost all of our discussion time on the boundaries, mind-made boundaries, actually. So I just want to make a clarification. I'm going to spend the rest of the time that we have this morning clarifying something that we talked about on Friday, having to do with renunciation. Excuse me. You'll remember that on Friday, I talked about the Qigong, the former Qigong teacher here at Lotus Center, Ishan Das, and talking about renunciation. And Ishan Das said, you'll remember, he said, he resigned and said, the people don't really want what I have to offer. And what he had to offer was a pretty fearless and uncompromising view on the importance of renunciation, the renunciation of worldly pleasures, of worldly pursuits, worldly concerns. And I said, I referred to renunciation in that context. I said, that in kind of a negative way, I talked about trying to find a little bit of relief from the sufferings of samsara and the futility in that. And it's more subtle than that. It's more subtle than how I put it on Friday. And it's kind of, I was a little less clear than I could have been. It is okay for us to try to get some relief from the sufferings of samsara. We don't have to sit back and just take it, and just, that's borders on asceticism, which the Buddha denounced as an invalid path. We don't have to sit back and say, okay, I'm renouncing worldly pursuits and worldly concerns. Therefore, I'm going to wear burlap sacks and, live the life of a sadhu, basically, beg for my food and, not give myself any comforts of any kind whatsoever. No, that's not what renunciation is. And I didn't mean to suggest that inadvertently. Go on vacation, go on your vacation and enjoy it. Have a good hair day and be happy about that. Yeah. Watch the movie, have the bowl of ice cream. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to do these things. Just be clear on the limitations that these activities are going to have in terms of your complete liberation from suffering. Kind of what the problem is with those things and the way we engage with them is when we say, okay, I'm in samsara, I recognize that. I'm gonna have this bowl of ice cream and then everything's gonna be good. I'm good, right? I've got my bowl of ice cream, I'm good. Or I had a good bowel movement this morning. I'm good, right? For a moment, yes, for a moment there may be relief, but we need to be really clear that those moments of relief are temporary. The vacation, the good hair day, the high thread count in our new linens that we bought. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to get a little bit of relief from the sufferings of samsara. And we need to be clear that that temporary relief is just that, temporary. It is transitory. The loss of samsara, the nature of samsara is such that it will absolutely trend towards suffering. And if we come to regard the high thread count in our new linen set as being, I'm good. I've got my new linen set. I'm feels good on my skin. I'm good. Thank you very much. We're just kicking the can down the road, basically. And at some point we're going to have to come to terms with the can. And it's okay to kick it down the road. Just we need to know and be clear that it's going to be a little bit heavier the next time we get to the can, and a little bit harder to kick, and it's not going to travel as far down the road. And eventually we're not going to be able to kick the can at all. It's just going to be there, and we're going to have to come to terms with it. And we can do that with wisdom, from a place of wisdom, or from a place of kicking and screaming. So yeah, get relief. Take aspirin for the headache. Yeah. But just know, as long as we're in samsara, it's what Ishan Das would refer to as, cleaning ashtrays on the Titanic. That's over the long term, it's not going to make any difference. And the aspiration should be to transcend the Titanic, transcend samsara, and get off of it altogether once and for all, for this lifetime and all future lifetimes as well. That's a more clear presentation of the benefits and limitations of worldly pleasures and getting some temporary relief from samsara. Okay. Have a great week, you guys. By the way, it's my mom's birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday, Mom. Happy birthday in advance. You guys have a wonderful
birthday,
day.
Mom. Happy birthday, Jeff. Happy birthday, Jeff's mom.
That's
Bye.
true. Grace outed me. It's both my mom's and my birthday tomorrow. So, all right. Thanks, you guys.
Happy birthday, Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Grace.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Well.